He's got that personality and he's got that will to win. He's just such a great racehorse, 25 wins from 29 starts. Can't wait to see what he does. I hope he wins. The crowd will explode.
You were here right through the Silent Witness days and very close to Silent Witness, arguably the best horse ever to step foot out here in Hong Kong in terms of the locals. But what will a win, do you think, mean to the locals here, Jenny, with Golden 60? If he is to do that today, because he's raced a lot of his time during the pandemic with pretty much nobody here.
Well, exactly, and a homegrown trainer as well as Vincent Ho. He is just so popular. Of course, he won the International Jockeys Challenge during the week. Everybody loves Vincent, and the combination just works incredibly well. So can't wait to see. You haven't seen Golden 60 yet, have you?
Never in the flesh.
Okay.
And I can't wait. Watched him pretty much all his victories from afar. Vincent Ho is such a humble man. He's so easy to like, and he's applied himself to his craft with such diligence, with his exercise regime, his diet. I know he was given a lot of help by Ryan Moore earlier in his career as well. Looks to him as one of his great idols, and he's putting the same sort of diligence and craft to his trade that Ryan has.
Do you think a horse like Golden 60 sort of pushes Vincent to even become a better jockey because he's getting used to so much pressure?
I think it must do. I think it must do. We saw how assured he was against the best in the world at Happy Valley, probably one of the most difficult racecourses to ride anywhere in the world on Wednesday night. And he takes it all with such equanimity as well. So for sure. And I think Golden 60 is one of those horses that can transcend the borders. He's got international appeal. On any other day, you'd say, well, Lucky Sweynesse, Romantic Warrior, they're horses that will be the hero of the day, but even he's putting them in the shade.
And it's a real credit to Vincent because he's had a suspension this season. He had that absolutely shocking fall in Japan where he broke several bones, and the prognosis was looking a little bit tough this season, but he's bounced back with some fire here, hasn't he, Jenny?
Oh, he certainly has, and it's great to see as well. And of course, you don't want to see another jockey on Golden 60 because it's the combination.
What I'm fascinated from your point of view, Jenny, is that in Europe, if a horse came off a 7-month layoff, people would be questioning whether they would be fit enough, but they certainly wouldn't be dogmatic about it. In the United States, for example, horse coming off a 7-month layoff can't win. Yeah. Couldn't possibly win this. What's your view?
Well, my view is I'm going to go and have a look at him right now because I know that he's around about exact normal racing weight. So I think they will put enough miles into his legs here, and it's just whether the old legs can handle it. He's an 8-year-old now. I'm
just looking at the odds board. He's 1.9. That's probably about as big as he's ever been, isn't it?
Could be. Before Jenny gets to Cairo to get her thoughts on Cairo, and Nick, what do we make of Cairo in this race for Aidan?
I don't know. I simply don't know who Cairo is. He ran a great race when he was placed in the Irish 2000 Guineas, but Paddington aside, behind Cairo, that form's taken plenty of knocks. I'm not sure how strong a crop of early miling 3-year-olds that was. They tried him on the dirt in Dubai as well. He's got a mixed pedigree. He's by Quality Road, the dirt stallion, but from a very good turf family. Clearly, Aidan O'Brien, given the way he's campaigned him, thinks he's very good. It's just very hard to know how good he is and whether he'll really have the requisite pace and turn of speed for a race like this.
Here we go, Jenny. Here's Golden 60, the 1.9 favourite, looking to win his 3rd Hong Kong mile.
All right, well, we'll keep a good eye on the champ, Golden 60. He is normally quite good for most part of the parade, and then he can get a little bit flighty late. He's been beautifully prepared. He looks well. His coat's gleaming. He's strong. He's sort of developed and got stronger as time's gone on. And he seems to be walking out nice and freely. He looks in good order. I'm going to get one more glimpse of him here through the crowd. A little wintry in his coat, but healthy and nice and alert, behaving himself well. Looks very well.
Here's California Spangle, the horse who beat Golden 60 in this race last year. It'll be interesting to see what effect Christophe Soumillon can have on him and whether he can get him into that favoured prominent position. He should be able to from stall 2, and it's not impossible that he could get the run of the race, whilst from outside gate, Golden 60's riding for a bit of luck.
He is a horse that has got plenty of quality about him. He's a really nice individual, very strong all over, walks out nicely, behaves himself well in the parade. He will always carry that little bit of weight, but he's quite a stocky, strong horse. So he looks healthy. He's, as I said, behaviour is very good. And if he's timed to perfection and does get an easy time of things on the lead, he could give a really good side here. He looks well.
There's been virtually no talk this week about California Spangle, which is really surprising considering what he did in this race last year. Down on the kid now. And he's coming into this with a couple of fair runs on the board, but of course he raced here, Jenny, over the 2,000 metres. I don't know what to expect over a mile today.
Yeah, now this horse I've seen twice here in Hong Kong, and he's thrown his head around on each occasion. So still doing the same antics. It just goes to show that some of them never get out of these sort of habits. They are going to take him out early. He looks extremely fit. He's nice and healthy. He's a horse who is quite athletic, and he walks out nice and freely. He actually looks really well.
This is Seraphos. I like the claims of this horse. He came to himself at this time last year. When he's on his A game, he could post a figure in the mid-120s, and that'll be good enough to see him on the premises here. Much better than the official finishing position in that last run, the Mile Championship in native Japan behind today's rival Namur. I expect him to do the best of the Japanese.
Yeah, look, he's bandaged on all four legs here, and he looks really fit. He's got a little bit of a grey fleck through his coat. It's actually gleaming. He's got a beautiful shine to it. He's behaving himself well, and he looks extremely fit. I would give him an each-way chance. He looks well.
We're going on to a tribalist now. We've seen Andre Fabre in the winner's circle this afternoon, Macau Barcelona in the previous. Again, almost unknown on a good track this afternoon.
Well, he's beaten some credentialed horses. He's beaten the Revenant and Factor Cheval this year. They're both capable of Group 1 mile form in Europe. So he is good. Fabre's campaigned him quite conservatively, perhaps with the idea that he's got one big hurrah at the end of the campaign. We don't know whether he's going to be any good on this ground, but we said the same thing about Junko earlier in the afternoon. 30 times champion trainer, he could pull more than one rabbit out of the hat.
Yeah, look, he's relaxed here in the parade, nothing phasing him. He's got a different sort of walking style. He sort of throws those feet out and just puts them down gently. Very athletic and fit and relaxed. So he actually parades well. I wouldn't be ruling him out.
Soul Rush is just coming into the yard here, Nick. He ran a career best last start. He'd need to improve again, though, I think.
I think he would. Joe Moreira fancies him, but Joe's a glass half full kind of guy. He looks very well to my eye. I'd be interested to see what you think, Jenny.
I'm just walking over to him now so I can get a good look at him. You can see he's a little bit stirred up, a little bit fiery. The swish of the tail, he's a very stocky, strong-bodied colt, or entire, I should say. He's a 5-year-old. Carries a bit of weight around the midsection, as they can often do. But he's got a good, healthy shine to his coat. Hopefully he will just settle down a bit more than when he first came into his position here. Looks-wise, a place chance. I could only give him a place chance, but he's healthy.
Here's Beauty Eternal. This is the other human interest story in this race, save Vincent Ho and Connections of Golden 60, because Zach Purton takes the ride on Beauty Eternal, having lost the ride or got off the ride on California Spangle. Who quite knows what happened there, but if he were to win on Beauty Eternal, it would be sweet for a number of reasons. Had great success for these connections as well. Won this race on the Great Beauty Generation. This is the horse on the up. We don't quite know how good Beauty Eternal is yet, and the answer might be very, judged on that last run.
Yeah, look, I love the way he's parading this horse. He's just so calm and collected here in the parade. He's looking extremely fit. He's had the benefit of a couple of runs just to get his fitness level up, and he's also had a recent trial, and he looked good in that trial. This is as fit as I've seen him, so I've got to give him a strong chance. He looks very well.
What about Beauty Joy, Jenny, who, of course, Derek Lung lost the stick last time out, but he gave Beauty Eternal a massive fright in the Jockey Club Mile last time out.
He certainly did, yeah. And I think probably circumstances suited there where he sat back and he sort of relaxed a little bit. But if everyone follows Hong Kong racing, this horse has got a very light mouth. He needs to be sort of ridden with kid gloves. He's not the easiest of horses. He's got ability. He never carries any excess condition as far as his looks go. Very quiet horse, really healthy in his coat, and he's walking out okay. That's a pretty good parade from him.
Lims Kosciuszko we're seeing on screen now. Dan Marr, Damien Lane, likely to be the last probably Singapore runner we see on the international stage, Nick.
Yeah, and we wish them well as well. It's going to be a tough time for the Singaporeans. It's such a shame that we're seeing that jurisdiction under pressure and about to go. But let's get back to this horse. He's sweating up a little bit behind. He's bandaged on those hind legs. He's a fantastic horse in Singapore, the best they've got there. He walks out freely. He looks well. He's been nicely presented.
Came to the sprint here last year, finished last. Hope for better over this longer distance. An elegy to Singapore racing, as you say, Lims Kosciuszko. Voyage Bubble, James McDonald, a big plus clearly, has sprung one surprise already in Hong Kong. Victor in the Hong Kong Derby at odds of over 40-1. I think it would be a shock today for all the man on top can produce miracles occasionally.
Yeah, well, he certainly can. He's a beautiful horse. voyage bubble. I wouldn't be ruling him out. I've got to say, Nick, his coat's just okay. It's not brilliant, but he is a big, strong horse. He's got really good hindquarters on him. He's beautifully behaved here, and he's dropped 14 pounds. Now, I thought he was carrying a bit of condition last time he stepped out, and he has trimmed up a bit. So he's there with... I'd give him some hope. I wouldn't be ruling him out.
Those runners that were up on the pace in the Jockey Club Mile, in the end, weakened to be 3rd, 4th and 5th, so they came undone over the final stages, those gallopers there out of the Jockey Club Mile. Encountered, Chinny, what do we do with a horse like Encountered? He won the Sa Ladies Purse. Manfred Mann looking for a big double this afternoon. He might be a sneaky place chance in a race like this.
He could well be. He's a quality horse to look at. He's got a great nature. He's really strong in the shoulder. He maintains his condition quite nicely as well. Now, he's coming off a win in the Sa Ladies Purse, and he still continues to walk out nice and freely. There is nothing wrong with him if you like him. He's a nice horse.
That is number 11, Encountered. Derek Long and Manfred Mann, a 7-time winner of his 19 starts here. 2 of them course and distance. Got home pretty well in a trial of the all-weather recently. As we now look at the next of the runners to come up on screen. We're about 10.5 minutes away from race number 7 of the afternoon. And Nick, here we've got number 13, Namur, on screen.
Yeah, I don't know if you can hear the noise here. That's all for Golden 60, which is all exciting. And the crowd giving him a fantastic roar here. Which horse are we on?
Namur.
She looks good. She's strong in the chest. She looks really fit. She's wintry in her coat, but behaving herself really nicely. So she presents well, and she's a very good walker, very smooth in her walking action, athletic type. So if there's sufficient speed on, and there just might be here, she should be very strong at the end.
She beat 2 of these last time out in the Mile Championship. Sprung a bit of a surprise that day. Ryan Moore was supposed to ride her. He got an injury and was replaced by Fujioka. William Buick taking the ride today. Here's Davina. Christian Demuro rides this mare. She's got quite a bit to do. She's by one of the best racehorses in Japan in recent years, Maurice, who also had great success here in Hong Kong. And she comes into the race off the back of just a respectable effort in the QE2 last time.
And she's also coming back in distance as well. Well, she's conducted herself really well here. She's another one of these horses that throws those front legs out. She's got her own style. It's very elegant, in fact, and she does look really quite fit. Weight-wise, she's 922 pounds, so she's not a strong filly or mare, but she's behaving herself nicely, and she does look very fit.
There you can see Serafos has been turned out best by those that judge that down in the paddock. We didn't, at the start, Jenny, get your comments on Cairo. Did you see him before he leaves the yard, Cairo?
Yes, I did. I thought he was looking okay. He actually started winning early when he first came out into the parade, and he was a little bit on his toes, and then I thought he settled down quite nicely, but in doing so he got himself just a tad warm, so that was the only little concern with him.
Okay, that is the verdict there on Cairo. Let's head over to Nick Child. He's standing by with one of the winning trainers here this afternoon at Sharton.
Thank you very much, Tom. Yes, Andre Fabre very kindly joins me. Andre, many thanks for your time. Tribalist, your runner here in the mile. How happy have you been with him so far?
Well, he travelled really well and he settled well as well, so I'm happy with his condition, and we'll see if he's good enough to.
He's got form at the top level. Obviously, he ran in at a French 2,000 guineas. I guess the biggest question, Andre, might well be the ground. What's your take on him performing on this surface?
He's not concerned he handles any sort of ground. He's a lot of experience in a big field, which is a worry for me.
And I guess to be a part of a race like this, obviously, you would have the utmost respect for horses like Golden 60 and the Japanese as well. So it is quite a strong race this year.
That's the interesting point with these races. You can meet with the other continent, other horses, when we can assess the form of everybody.
Many congratulations earlier on as well, of course. Junko was extremely good in the Vase. I imagine you must be a very pleased man to have won another one.
Yeah, I will try.
Andre, I know you're a busy man. I'll let you go. Many thanks for talking to us.
Thank you.
Great to hear there from Andre Fabre. As runners are leaving the paddock here for the Hong Kong Mile this afternoon. Jenny, who stood out on looks from the parade ring?
I really like the parade of number 7, Beauty Eternal. He was just so calm and relaxed. He's so strong. He looks fantastic. I thought Golden 60 also has been presented looking an absolute treat as well, and I really hope he can win as well. The 4, Serafos goes in, and I thought number 11, for a bit of a roughie there, Encountered. He's a quality horse to look at. Nothing wrong with him either. So I've gone 7, 1, 4, 4 and 11.
Jenny, Beauty Eternal, the back end on him, you can see the Star Spangled Banner through him. He looks more like a sprinter, to be honest.
Yeah, he certainly does. It's bigger than mine, actually.
Let's head up on that note to Paul Lally before we get to Mark's thoughts. Paul, the market update, please.
Yeah, even money about Golden 60, 7.4 California Spangle, 62 Dannon the Kid, 11 Seraphos, 17 Soul Rush, Tribalist 77, 5.4 Beauty Eternal, 36 Beauty Joy, 66 Limbs Kosciuszko, 27 Voyage Bubble, Encountered 17, 75 Cairo, 17 Namur and Davina, no support at 123. Mark, up to you now we've seen two really good Group 1s now. We're coming up to the mile. Who do you like in the mile?
That horse, Paul, number 10, Voyage Bubble, the Derby winner. Just nothing went right on debut. It was just a weird 5-horse field where the first 3 brought themselves undone, and he was all done down the straight, and Beauty Eternal and Beauty Joy went whoosh, whoosh, whoosh and ran past him. He's trialled well since. His Derby win was huge when he was 3 wide from the best part of the last 1,500 metres. He's trialled well since. He's at 27 and 5 a place, so we'll make him the long shot this afternoon. Number 10, Voyage Bubble. 4 Seraphos goes in for second. He is a horse that is coming off an 8th last time behind race rival Namur, a winner of the Mile Championship in 2022. Did run second behind Songline in the Yasuda Kinnan 2 runs ago. Yuga Kawada on board from barrier number 4. The great horses in for third, Golden 60. Barrier number 14. This will be some win. If he can win it from 14, first up as an 8-year-old, it'll be a wonderful Vincent Ho ride. It'll be a story of pure greatness. And at 1.9 and 1.4, just about everybody here wants to see that happen. And number 13, Namur. In down the bottom, showed amazing speed to win in Japan last time. That was in the Mile Championship. Drew 16, draws barrier number 12 here, so it's a wide draw, but her turn of foot was amazing and was a Group 2 winner 2 starts ago. 10 for the Heart with the 1, Paul, and 13 Namur for race 7.
Yeah, same 4 numbers actually. I went with Seraphos. I thought he was the best of the Japanese. He had clear excuses at his last start. He's really settled in well and drawn nicely in barrier 4. So Japan for me from the 10 Voyage Bubble. Agree with Mark said he's come on from his last run. Namur was a strong win last start. And Golden 60. I mean, we'd love to see him win, but barrier 14, he'll be a true champion if he wins, but he is anyway. 4-10, 13 and 1 for me.
Yeah, 13 on top. We're going to go the best bets in this race here with Namur at 17s and 4.4. Bit of a stab in the dark here, but comes with a lot of quality. Got turned sideways at the 150 in the Mile Championship. Still ran home in 33. Might have ran home in a quicker time than that had she not been turned sideways. So 13 to beat 4 Seraphos. Golden 60. Would love to see him win, but first up, 1,600 metres here from barrier 14 has to be a massive task, and Beauty Eternal in for 4. 13, 4, 1, 7. Jenny, a recap of your numbers. And Nick's numbers there on screen as well. 1, 7, 2 and 10.
That's the other Nick. Yep.
Yes.
And so, yeah, the 7 on top for me, Beauty Eternal. I thought he paraded beautifully, this horse. He'll have to be at his all-time best here, best performance ever to take this out, but he might be able to do it the way he presented. He goes on top of the champ, Golden 60. I really hope he can win. It'd just be fantastic for everybody here today to witness Golden 60 at his absolute best. He looks a treat. He looks very well. The 4 goes in, and that is Seraphos, the Japanese horse. I thought he paraded beautifully, nicely drawn in gate number 4 and Encountered. I thought he paraded really nicely, probably out of it as far as ability. Oh, maybe not. You never know. But he looks fantastic, so he gets in 7, 1, 4 and 11.
I've gone with Seraphos for Japan, much better than that last run. Peaked at this time last year and is tactical. And I think we'll probably be sitting just in front of where Golden 60 is. Might get the jump on him. Still think Golden 60 will run through hard and late. Might be a luckless second. Echo your thoughts about Beauty Eternal. Jenny just thinks the horse looks great and he's on the up. So I'd go 4, 1, 7. And then 6 Tribalist, I think, can run out his odds for Andre Fabre, who's already produced Junko to win this afternoon. So 4, 1, 7, 6 for me.
Where does Golden 60 in terms of international viewers? You're a big watcher of international racing. In terms of international viewers, where do they see Golden 60, considering he's never travelled outside of Hong Kong?
Yeah, and some people will crab him for that and say, well, he's never proved it against world-class horses, but he's got a representative field today. We've seen how strong Japan have been in every international carnival through the last 4 or 5 years, winning so many of the races. Some of the best Japanese milers are in this race, and if he can turn them away from gate 14, perhaps people will actually start to believe now the horse is 8 years old.
They'll have to go back from barrier 14, won't they, Jenny? They can't go forward. There's a bit of pressure up front. Tribalists will certainly be up at the pointy end, one would think, and Voyage Bubble no doubt will be there somewhere as well. So they've probably got to go back and look to tuck in and get some cover with Golden 60, don't they?
Yeah, well, ideally that sounds perfect. Whether or not that happens, we'll have to wait and see. But I think, it's not a bad plan anyway, because Vincent will be able to see what's going on directly in front of him, and he'll just be able to know when to push the button on him. He's got a fantastic turn of foot. Hope we see it today.
Yeah, let's hope we do. Well, there is Tribalist on screen. Paul, take us through the trackside play.
Yeah, look, I'm going to go with you like Namur as your best at 16s. I like Seraphos, and I know Nick likes Seraphos as well. And then we'll throw in the other one, which is the 10, which is Mark's long shot, Voyage Bubble. So hopefully we get that one up, 4, 10 and 13. Money coming for Seraphos now. He's into 9.9. He's coming up in on a place line. He's into 2.6. Golden 60 stays odds on here at 1.9. The Drifters California Spangle, no money for him. He's now to 8.4.
Seraphos, Nick, he can reel off a massive finish this guy. Did they ride him a bit close to things last time out? He covered a bit of ground, and they've clearly targeted this race as their grand final.
I think he's tactically adaptable, and I think that's why I'd go for him over Golden 60 from the outside draw, or California Spangle, who I think might have a bit too much company on the front end. I think this race will be honestly run, Jenny.
Yeah, I think so. I just saw Seraphos a few moments ago. He looks like he's got rather warm and sweaty behind the gates there. So hopefully he hasn't just done himself, injustice there as far as getting a little too warm.
Look at that. There's a huge crowd here this
They're already
afternoon.
Celebrating. Steady.
They are.
He's got a mile to run yet.
There he is on screen, Golden 60 at 1.9. There's some late money coming for horse number 4. That is Seraphos on a place line at 2.5. Is there something that can sneak into this race, Jenny, at massive odds that could be an almighty upset here? If it's not Golden 60, if it's not Beauty Eternal and Co, who could it be at a bigger price here?
Well, I'd say 2 of them. Voyage Bubble, I think, and Encountered. Encountered looked fantastic, so I'd put him into the top 4 on looks.
I think Tribalist will run well.
Okay, Tribalist there for Nick Luck. There he is, heading into the gates. Golden 60. He is the favourite here for the 3rd race of the Turf World Championships here at Sha Tin on this Sunday afternoon. This is the Group 1 Longines Hong Kong Mile. What a race it's going to be with our race caller, Mark McNamara.
Thank you, Tom. The beauties to get set. Eternals in. Joy will complete the line. The great horse drawn 14, Golden 60. D's whipping the crowd into a frenzy on course. And they're ready. Racing in the mile, and he jumped well, Golden 60. Voyage Bubble from the centre leads. California Spangle's going to take him on, and Golden 60 is now going to drag back from his outside gate, but there's not a lot of pace on. Tribalist next, and then came Cairo. Voyage Bubble and Encountered. Limbs Kosciuszko next as Golden 60 remains wide. He's trying to find some cover on the back of Denon the Kid. Limbs Kosciuszko, midfield from Beauty Eternal, and Davina follows Golden 60. Then came Seraphos, followed by Soul Rush and Namur, and 2 lengths away last of all is Beauty Joy. 1,000 metres to go. Tribalist for France leads a length. He's a bit keen in the lead, so he's keeping the speed good. Running second, Cairo, and third is California Spangle. 3 wide, Denon the Kid is giving Golden 60 a beautiful card into the race. Voyage Bubbles to the inside of Denon the Kid. Encountered's on the rail. They were followed then by Beauty Eternal, Davina, Limbs Kosciuszko, Soul Rush, Seraphos, Namur, and 2 lengths to Beauty Joy. 500 metres to go in the mile. Tribalist is the leader over Cairo, Denon the Kid, California Spangle, Voyage Bubble, Golden 60 called upon now. The great horse to the outside, and he went whooshka. It is Golden 60 taking over. Sha Tin is electric. He's 3 on Beauty Eternal. Then came Namur. Next in then is Soul Rush, but it's Golden 60 for Hong Kong. 4 on Voyage Bubble. That's not a whip. That's a wand. That ride from Vincent is magic. Golden 60. The superstar has beaten Voyage Bubble and Namur. Then came Soul Rush, Beauty Eternal, Beauty Joy, Encountered, Limbs Kosciuszko, Cairo, Seraphos. Next in Tribalist, Davina, California Spangle, Denon the Kid. What a win, what a horse, what a ride. Vincent Ho, a magic ride from 14, began beautifully. He lurked for cover. He lurked and lurked everywhere, and he found it on the back of Denon the Kid. And the 8-year-old, 224 days since we last saw him, has come out and won as well as ever. Voyage Bubble has run him to a length and a half. There's a replay on the big screen. They were here to see it, and he didn't disappoint. The great horse, Golden 60. What a ride, Vincent Ho. He drew 14, the crowd gasped. He turned for home, and Sha Tin erupted. And rightly so. Voyage Bubble's gone a great race second. Namur's run third. Soul Rush has run fourth. 1:10, 13 and 5. 1 1/2, 1 1/4. Stanley Chan's emotional, and rightly so. Nick's waiting for Vincent to come back, and we'll hear from him. This was the story of the day. Could he do it? First up as an 8-year-old over 1,600 metres. Oh boy, yes he can. He's still got some distance to come. And Golden 60 for Vincent Ho. There he is on his way back. They cheered him in the back parade ring. They cheered him coming onto the track. You'll need some earplugs here shortly, because you will not hear anything here at Sha Tin. And Vincent is all smiles. 1:10, 13 and 5. That cheer, and he's still coming around the home turn to meet Nick. Here he is right now, Nick Child, with the hero of Hong Kong. And it's not just Golden 60, it's this man, it's Vincent Ho.
It certainly is, Mark, indeed. We'll let Golden 60 walk on with the Vincent. Many congratulations. I mean, where do we start, really, with this horse?
Thank you, Nick. He's a monster. You know, when I ask him for effort, he lengthened like I can't believe.
Should we let
So
him
he
walk
still
on?
got that turn of foot. Is crazy.
It was certainly something. Let's let him just walk on a minute as well. Obviously, he's got rather warm, as he can do, I know, but I mean, Vincent, he broke well from 14. He travelled well for you. When there's that bit of pace injected, that must have really suited you.
Yeah, it's amazing. Perfectly. I got the free wide cover where I want to be, and you know, he knows he's racing now. He never travel keen with me, so relaxed all the way. And then when I asked for effort, he just gave me 100%. It's madness. It's a great team effort. So thanks to all the team. You know, it's not easy to come here with a high level without any preparation. So yeah, it's amazing.
I mean, this has to be a career best, surely. I mean, this is the cherry on top of the cake, isn't it?
Yeah, I think so. One of his performance as well. So you know, it's not 8. You know, I feel like it's 4. So.
Vincent, it is almost as if, well, we are in the presence of greatness. This is his hometown. He's the hero. Yeah. You're the hero on his back. Enjoy this, because you deserve it. Well done.
Thank you so much. Thank you.
On 14, Golden 60. D's whipping the crowd into a frenzy on course. And they're ready. Racing in the mile, and he jumped well, Golden 60. Voyage Bubble from the centre leads. California Spangle's going to take him on. And Golden 60 is now going to drag back from his outside gate, but there's not a lot of pace on. Tribalist next, and then came Cairo. Voyage Bubble and encountered. Limbs Kosciuszko next as Golden 60 remains wide. He's trying to find some cover on the back of Denon the Kid. Limbs Kosciuszko, midfield from Beauty Eternal, and Davina follows Golden 60. Then came Seraphos, followed by Soul Rush and Namur. And 2 lengths away last of all is Beauty Joy. 1,000 metres to go. Tribalist for France leads a length. He's a bit keen in the lead, so he's keeping the speed good. Running second, Cairo, and third is California Spangle. 3 wide, Denon the Kid is giving Golden 60 a beautiful card into the race. Voyage Bubbles to the inside of Denon the Kid. Encountered's on the rail. They were followed then by Beauty Eternal, Davina. Limbs Kosciuszko, Soul Rush, Seraphos, Namur, and 2 lengths to Beauty Joy. 500 metres to go in the mile. Tribalist is the leader over Cairo, Denon the Kid. California Spangle, Voyage Bubble. Golden 60 called upon now. The great horse to the outside, and he went whooshka. It is Golden 60 taking over. Sha Tin is electric.
He's 3 on Beauty Eternal. Then came Namur. Next in then is Soul Rush. But it's Golden 60 for Hong Kong. 4 on Voyage Bubble. That's not a whip. That's a wand. That ride from Vincent is magic. Golden 60. The super...
Just unbelievable scenes here at Sharpton. There is Stanley Chan, the owner, and it's 1-10, 13 and 5 there, Paul. Just unbelievable what he's done today.
Yeah, it was, wasn't he? They rolled the dice, they went forward, they got cover, and he did drift out to 23.50 and 13.50. A good run there for Voyage Bubble there at 67, and Namur ran well, the best of the internationals at 37, just ahead of Soul Rush for 4th. Another 1 and 10 was 399.50. The forecast 1 to beat 10, 565. The trio 1, 10, 13, 1,483. The test 1, 10 and 13, 6,969. And Jenny, that's what we all came to see.
It does not get any better than that, does it, Paul? That was just spine-tingling. Goosebumps watching that. Fantastic. Just thrilled for the homegrown team there. They've just done a magnificent job for this horse. From gate 14, Vincent, it was a few worrying moments in the early stages. I was thinking he might get caught wide without any cover, but he managed to find some behind Dan and the Kid, and he was so strong. When he took off, I was a little worried that he might have gone too early, but he's just so explosive and he's so damn good. How good is it to see him take Golden 60 up the outside rail here at Sharpton? We don't very rarely see that here at all. This is what the crowd came to see, and this is what the crowd are getting now.
When he won this race in 2020, there was nobody here. 21, there was hardly anybody here. He was defeated last year, and now we've got a packed house. Hometown hero, hometown rider that everybody loves as well. He's the perfect result, and he's probably gone off bigger odds than he has done almost any race for the last couple of years. But as you say, Jenny, the pace wasn't quite as contested as we thought it was, and the horse was so enthusiastic out of the gate that Vincent could just adopt a position a little more handy and a little less hostage to fortune than otherwise might have been the case. Yeah, look, he's done a fantastic job, and you know, seeing the emotion of the connections as well here, Nick, was fantastic, because I mean there's a lot of pressure leading up to that, and also fantastic that Vincent's just taken the horse way down there and given everyone a good look at the champ. I think that's wonderful, and just getting all the accolades and applause that he deserves. I think it's worth noting, in an era where we are often critical of connections for wrapping top horses up in cotton wool or packing them off to do another job after their 3-year-old careers, or only having 3 or 4 lifetime starts, this horse has produced probably a career best on his 30th lifetime appearance at the age of 8. He's what horse racing should be about.
No doubt about it. And look at him come back in. Sometimes he gets a little distressed after his racing. That is quite normal for him, so don't be upset by that by any means. He's not too bad at the moment anyway, but that has always been the case. But look at him, and look at the crowd enjoying this moment as well. Congratulations to all involved. Vincent Ho, you're a star.
Yeah, cameras, phones, plushies, everything's down there to greet Vincent Ho as he returns here. This likely his last HKIR appearance. Stanley Chan sort of suggesting that maybe there's 3 more runs in him this season.
How do you retire him off the back of that?
Well, that was, he could go round again after what he's done here, but maybe suggesting there's 3 more runs in him, and then maybe off to Japan to be retired over there. Paul, Voyage Bubble, a huge race from him to run second.
Oh, definitely. Look, he's back, isn't he? He had the Derby, he had that one sort of lead-up run into this. So he's an exciting horse going forward, Voyage Bubble. He always had the potential to do that, and he sort of showed that today with a really good run. And look, Namur was, it's good, the best of the Japanese as well.
He's rocked up at 6.7 a place, Jenny.
Vincent's giving him a hose down, and he was just trying to indicate that to them all, just to try and cool him down as quickly as possible as well. Because, as I said, he can get a little distressed after racing.
Jenny was absolutely spot on about Voyage Bubble. He's a bit of a cometh-the-hour horse, isn't he? You know, the big day rises to the challenge.
Oh, does he ever? I mean, he's our Derby winner. He's won from in front. He's won from behind. He was carrying a bit of condition last time. He rocked up today with a few pounds off him. I think even better to come next start as well with him.
I mean, it seems a bit churlish, Tom, to talk about hard luck stories. The winner's won at every step of this race, but you could make a case that Seraphos might have finished a bit closer. He was well off the pace. And Beauty Joy has come from a very unpromising position and has rattled home.
Yeah, he can do that. He can really rattle off a final section strongly. Soul Rush has gone a good race there as well for fourth placing. And the Mergini, she covered a little bit of ground down the side, got sort of flushed quite wide on the home turn, and she stayed on the best of the rest.
Well, we know she's got an amazing turn of foot as well. That was her last start that we saw. But this horse, he just blitzed her today.
Where do you think this rates in terms of Hong Kong horses here at Sharton winning Group 1 races? Where does this rate?
Well, you know Silent Witness is so close to my heart, and I hate to go against him, but it's got to be right up there, doesn't it? Golden 60, what a horse.
Yeah, joins Good Barbar as a three-time winner of the Hong Kong Mile. Of course, he won this in 2020, 2021, was defeated last year, and it gets back up again for it this year. You've got to take your hat off to Francis Loy. He's done a super job with this horse. There's been confidence in the camp that he hasn't lost it, and he's just kept him ticking over, and you can't argue with what Francis has done with him.
And maybe as the horse gets a little older, he just thinks, well, freshness is his key. Maybe first time out, the best time to catch him, but it's still a brave decision to go into this off a different prep to the prep that you've used before.
He's the all-time prize money earner. He's right up there in terms of that. Coming into today, it was 147 million Hong Kong dollars, on the cusp of 148. A three-time straight Horse of the Year winner, and now he's, Jenny, he was the only 9-time Group 1 winner coming into this. He's now a 10-time Group 1 winner.
Extraordinary, absolutely extraordinary. And yeah, look, what more can you say about Golden 60? I'm just thrilled that we've got such a big crowd here to witness how great he is and get just a look at the champ here. And that's a great shot there, isn't it?
How many horses win 10 Group 1s through their career?
Not many.
Miesk did, Frankel did, Goldakova did. There aren't many that can sustain a career for this long and produce it time after time at the top level.
That's an elite list of names as well there. Paul, Golden 60 there. Vincent Ho saying he used to feel the pressure. He doesn't feel that pressure anymore. He's here enjoying the moment because he knows at some point the curtains will come down on his career. He's here to enjoy the moment. He used to feel the pressure, but he absorbs that pressure now and thrives off it.
If he's any more relaxed, he'd be asleep, Vincent, wouldn't he, after that? He just seemed really soaking it up here. He's just on such a wave with this horse. He's taking them to some great places. And as Nick said earlier on, he is very hard to dislike. He's such a good person.
Been a big week for Vincent, of course, winning the IJC on Wednesday night. Jenny, you could see the raw emotion in Vincent's face as he went past the line. He doesn't show a lot of emotion normally, Vincent, but you could certainly tell that he was shouting something as they went across the line.
Yeah, for sure. It would be a massive relief. I mean, the pressure leading up to this particular race on a horse like this, it's just, you know, you've got to handle the situation correctly, and he did. He's done it again. So just a fantastic performance once again, and what a horse.
There is Stanley Chan at the head of the dress rug here. They're out in front of the winning post. This is the photo that all the owners want here in Hong Kong. And Nicky's brought all of his mates along. They were handing out badges just after the race by the looks of things. There were other people from the crowd trying to get one of those badges. A few might end up on eBay later on, but very special scenes here.
And Stanley Chan was so sanguine when barrier 14 was drawn the other day, and there was a gasp from the crowd. In all honesty, barrier draw ceremonies are not everybody's cup of tea, but if there was one thing that made it exciting, it was right, Golden 60. We're going to give you the biggest challenge we can give you in your career, and boy, oh boy, hasn't he faced it and overcome it with some style.
Oh, without doubt, yeah. Look, he's just been such a great horse over so many years now, and of course, Vincent tonight will take some carrots to him and feed him.
Absolutely.
He loves doing that. He loves to look after him. It's his horse, and, you know, what more can you say? He's just a sensational horse.
Yeah, you'll be able to check out those photos. Vincent, no doubt, will post those later on Instagram of him down at the stabling block once racing has completed and all the formalities are done. We'll have a presentation coming up shortly as well before we head into the fourth and final of the Group 1s here this afternoon. You've been here for a long time as well, Paul. Where does that sort of performance rate on your top sort of 5 performance radar here in Hong Kong?
Yeah, definitely top 2, top 3. I mean, Lord Kenaloa is going to be tough to beat when he won the sprint by 5, but that's up there. That was such a good win from Golden 60. Look, everything was against him. The draw, fresh up, you know, unusual, not unusual, but a different sort of campaign coming into the race, and Oh, it was just such a good, just showed that really good turn of foot when he came down the straight that we've seen so many times, and so pleased that everyone was here to see it.
Indeed, there is Vincent Ho about to head up for the presentation of the running of the Longines Hong Kong mile, and the roar around the crowd as well, Nick. It was terrific. You could hear it through the effects mic. We could feel it here in the parade ring. This was the show they turned up to see.
What, as a fan, you wanted today, whether you had a financial interest or not, as a fan, someone who's travelled from a long way away, you just wanted the local hero to do it for the crowd, and they got what they wanted in style. I couldn't have countenanced a performance of that magnitude. I thought, well, maybe he could win, but it would be hard fought, it would be narrow, he'd have to find his way through traffic, it would require a bit of magic for it to happen. As it transpired, he was just way better.
Yeah, it turned into a gap job over the final stages. So you can see the presentation about to come to us here. Runners are already starting to come into the parade ring for the Cup, and that's going to be a sensational race coming up in the next 20 to 25 minutes here at Sharton. Nick.
各位來賓，浪琴香港一哩錦標頒獎儀式現在開始。
Ladies and gentlemen, the Longines Hong Kong Mile Trophy Presentation Ceremony will now commence.
Ladies and gentlemen, what a spectacular race! Join me to congratulate our three-time Longines Hong Kong Mile champion and Horse of the Year, Golden 60 representing Hong Kong, China. 浪琴香港一哩錦標嘅得主已經出爐啦，係由嚟自中國香港嘅金槍六十勝出㗎，我哋嘅掌聲唔好俾佢停啊！ May we now invite our club's Deputy Chairman, the Honourable Martin Lau, to present the Longines Hong Kong Mile Trophy to our winning owner, Mr. Stanley Chan Kar Leung of Winning Horse Golden 60。我哋有請我哋嘅香港賽馬會副主席廖長江先生咧，就將我哋嘅主杯就係自送俾我哋嘅勝出頭馬金槍60嘅馬主陳家亮先生㗎。 好，跟住落嚟，我哋繼續有請副主席咧，就係將駿馬銅像咧，就係自送俾陳家亮先生。And of course, our bronze horse statuette to Mr. Stanley Chan Kar Leung. Congratulations! Huge congratulations! Next, I'd like to invite our Deputy Chairman to please present the bronze horse statuette to our winning trainer, Francis Lowe. 我哋嘅副主席將駿馬銅像咧，就係自送俾我哋勝出頭馬嘅練馬師呂健威，俾啲掌聲。繼續有請副主席咧，就係將我哋嘅駿馬銅像咧，就係自送俾我哋勝出嘅騎師何澤耀 ，and of course to our homegrown champion jockey Vincent Ho. Woo! Today marks Golden 60 and Vincent's 10th international Group 1 win together. Huge congratulations to that. Now I'd like to invite Mrs. Celia Kwok, Vice President Longines Hong Kong and Macau, to present the Longines watch to our winning owner, trainer and jockey. First of all, to our winning owner, and is received by Mrs. Chan. 浪琴香港澳門區副總裁郭靜心小姐而家咧就將一隻名貴嘅浪琴標誌送俾我哋勝出頭馬嘅馬主陳太。 跟住就係練馬師 and our winning trainer, Mr. Francis Lowe. And of course to our winning jockey, Vincent Ho. 以及我哋勝出嘅騎師何濟耀。各位馬迷繼續俾多啲歡呼聲，我哋金槍60。好，有請大家留一留步，我哋影一張大合照。 We can invite everyone to remain on stage for a group photo. Let's all look to all our media friends right at the front. 我哋邀請我哋所有嘅台上嘅嘉賓喺稍後時間望一望我哋所有嘅傳媒朋友。Like to invite all our guests on stage to look forward at our media friends right in front. And put your hands together once again for all our winning connections. Ladies and gentlemen, please remain where you are. Now I'd like to invite everyone to please rise and remove your hats for the national anthem of the winning country, Hong Kong, China, played by the Hong Kong Police Band. 而家我哋有請香港警察樂隊為我哋演奏勝出頭馬所代表國家中國香港嘅國歌，有請各位起立並隨舞。Thank you, a truly spectacular moment for Hong Kong and for Golden 60. Thank you very much. Ladies and gentlemen, this is the end of the presentation. Today's featured race, Longines Hong Kong Cup, will start very shortly. Don't miss it and see you at the trophy presentation later. 浪琴香港一哩錦標嘅頒獎儀式已經圓滿結束，我哋今日嘅焦點賽事浪琴香港盃即將舉行，大家千祈唔好錯過，我哋轉頭見。
The 2023 mile as we see them go from the start here in the patrol, and he jumped away very, very well here over the final in the early stages to go and push on, and Tribalist throw over on the inside is going to try and kick up California Spangle as expected. He goes forward. Also there in the early pushes, Dan on the kid. HKIR was relatively handy through early stages. Limbs Kosciuszko back near one off the fence from encountered on the rail. Beauty Eternal between runners. Golden 60 now gets some cover, and then you've got Namur back in the field there, followed just in front of Namur by Davina. Soul Rush was well back, and through on the inside was Sarah Foss, and Beauty Joy. He's being chased up at the back end of the field here, Nick, but Golden 60 with perfect cover in the end. He's 3 off the fence, but right behind Dan on the kid.
The thing is, the horse's temperament and track craft enabled Vincent Ho to get that position because he was so enthusiastic from the stalls, but not in the slightest bit keen, never rank, never pulling, and that just allowed him to slot in exactly where he wanted. He's got the perfect combination of tactical speed to get the position and then kick from that position. I'd imagine most of us thought he'd be at least 3 pegs further back than this right now. And if you had taken an interest in this horse, either emotional or financial, you never had a moment's worry.
100%.
Ever.
I thought he was going to be a bit further back in the run than he was, but Vincent pushes the button. He said in the media during the week that when he pushes the button, there is no lag in the turbo, and we could see that here this afternoon. He's down to the inside. That's been his trademark down through the years, running in, but he is off and gone. Voyage Bubble staying on. Namur looking to box on relatively well out wider. Soul Rush closing off. That's Beauty Joy hammering home out wider as well. He's got another great race, and the next of them to go by was at Beauty Eternal. 25.07, 22.91, 23.67 and 22.45. The overall time for the mile was 1:34.1.
Beat a couple of the most hard-knocking geldings down under and did it in some style in the end. In spite of an imperfect preparation, his trainer Danny Shum was saying, apparently training perfectly into today, and if that's the case, it was 4.5 lengths last year. What's it going to be today?
And he was supposedly only 95% fit coming into the Cox Plate. Whether you believe that or not, I don't know.
I'm never quite sure how they measure these percentages of fitness. What am I at the moment about? I'm about 60% fit after this week.
In terms of that sort of performance, to get him back here to Hong Kong through quarantine, he's had that one trial by accounts. He needed that barrier trial. James McDonald fairly satisfied with where he is at.
I think they feel he's in better form and shape physically than he was going into the Cox Plate, but he's still done the air miles, so it just introduces that note of doubt, and this is a better field.
Let's start, Jenny, with the prognosis. We'll get Nick's thoughts on the runners as they move around as well. He's coming here, Luxembourg, for Ryan Moore and Aidan O'Brien. Drawn barrier 10. That looks a stiff task, 2,000 metres. Such a short run, Jenny, to the first turn.
Yeah, look, it is, but he's produced quite nicely here. This is prognosis I'm talking about, not the horse on screen. Prognosis is bandage on all 4 legs. He's not overly big, but he's really neatly put together. He looks nice and fit and healthy, and he's behaving himself well.
What about Luxembourg then, Jenny? He's number 1. He's in the market at 10 and 2.2.
Well, he's a lovely big type of horse. He's very scopy. He's done about 20 laps already. Been in here a long time, and he walks out nice and freely. He has been clipped out a little while ago by the looks of things, but it just doesn't get a tiny bit warm now, but his behaviour's been perfect, and he does look well.
He's very much a trademark grandson of Manger, that slightly proud head carriage, slightly peacocky in appearance. He carries his head high and proud in his races, but it doesn't stop him running hard. But I'd say at this distance, whilst it's his optimum in terms of the form he's shown, he is a stayer at this distance. So he either needs to be handy, or from his wide draw, he needs them to go very fast to enable his stamina to come into play.
Romantic Warrior here, Jenny. He's at 1.5 for James McDonald. Danny Shum, he is on the cusp of $100 million in earnings here in Hong Kong.
Yeah, great horse he's been so far, and he's only a 5-year-old. Obviously coming off that Cox Plate win, very short photo finish there with Mr. Brightside. Fantastic race, but he's proven that he can travel and perform, and the horse looks in great order. He's a really good walker. He's very strong. He's maintained his condition nicely. He's just started to go a little bit into his winter coat, but he's healthy and he's behaving himself nicely with his 2 handlers.
Yeah, his prognosis, he was 3rd to Equinox last time, so that's the form line people will be attracted to. However, you want to look at what finished behind him, and there were some smart horses there as well. He can just get a little far back in his races, so Yuga Kawada's just going to have to be alive to that if the pace isn't searching up front.
Just recap, Jenny, on how he was looking again this afternoon, prognosis.
Yeah, look, I liked him when he first walked in. He has got himself a little bit warm in a short space of time. Not enough to be overly concerned about. He's bandaged in front, walks out really, really well, and he's a well put together horse. He's nice and strong and sensible.
That is prognosis, and there you can see Yuga Kawada, his jockey, aboard this afternoon. 9.6 in the market to here for prognosis. Maybe a bit unlucky last time out, but ran through the line very strongly over the final stages there, of course, in the Tenno Show Autumn behind Equinox. As we move on to Rosham Park here, Jenny. Same sire, of course, as Norm Corbing by Harbinger. Beat title holder last time out, and that's no mean feat.
Won his last 3. He's a horse in form, and geez, a nice horse to look at as well. He's got size and scope. He's got a fantastic attitude, just calm and collected here in the parade. Bandaged in front, walking out nice and cleanly. Looks really fit, and he's a good type. I'd give him a good each way chance. He looks good.
I think he's much the best of the Japanese here. The sectionals in that race last time, the Sankei show, were outstanding. He knocked in sub 12-second furlongs for the last 3. He came wide to do so. He was drawn in 13. He beat title holder, who went on to run a good race in the Japan Cup. They've missed the Japan Cup to come here. Big chance.
Yeah, he looks a horse that is ready to win at group run level, certainly is Rosham Park. Hishi Iguazu, we've seen him here before, Jenny, but I just wonder if he's at his complete best and completely wound up for this race today. Joe Moreira rides for Noriyuki Hori.
Yeah, he's exactly the same weight as he was last time he came to Hong Kong, and he's a really nice, relaxed type of horse. He looks in good shape. I think they've presented him really well. He's a very fit-looking horse, and he's very sensible. I couldn't rule him out on looks. I know he's a 7-year-old now, and he's probably up against it, but he's got the Magic Man on board from gate number 2, and the horse looks well.
Yeah, I think even optimistic Joe Moreira knows his task is a tough one here with Hishi Iguazu. But as Jenny's saying, he's hard-knocking 7-year-old. He'll give off his best.
There is Joe Moreira on screen shortly too. We get the leg up aboard Hishi Iguazu. Money Catcher, Jenny, of course, ran third in this race last year behind Romantic Warrior. Ran fourth in the QE2 Cup. He was certainly better last time out after maybe a couple of subpar performances prior.
Well, I'm just waiting for him to come into my view, but I could tell you with a blindfold on how well he would look, because he looks good every single time I see him. He's so calm and relaxed. He's a beautiful horse. He walks out nice and freely still. He's a very fit horse. He does like to get an easy time of things on the lead. Coat's still gleaming. He's got a good, healthy shine to it, and there is nothing wrong with him. He parades well.
Yeah, he's so chilled out, isn't he? And that hood clearly is having a positive effect, but he's walking around like an old lamb, this horse, and that's what helps him to settle on the front end. He likes it out there, and you know that's the way he's going to be ridden.
On to Straight Aaron we go. He, of course, won the Jockey Club Cup, and he needed to put in a big performance like that last time, Jenny, to put his sort of weight forward for this sort of contest this afternoon. Casper found Vincent Ho. Casper saying he's got this horse as good as he possibly can.
Well, I'd agree with that. I think he's parading really nicely here. He's a strong horse. He's beautifully behaved in the parade. He's also walking out well, and he's maintained that condition and fitness level. So I can't see him running a bad race. I think he'll run well. Whether or not he's good enough, we'll have to wait and see, but he parades well.
Well, the one thing he will be doing is hitting the line hard. But it's just a question whether the others are too quick in front of him and have hit the line first. This is a bare minimum distance for him.
Yeah, it certainly is. Son of Fastnet Rock out of a Tavistock mare, and he's having his second go at Group 1 level. On to Sword Point. He stalked the speed. He was up outside the leader. He boxed on okay, I thought, last time out. Jenny, Zach Purton, Frankie Law, but this is a whole different kettle of fish for him this afternoon.
Sure is. He's a really nice horse, though, so I'm not going to knock him as far as appearance goes. He's actually put on 12 pounds. That might show just around the tummy area there, but he's quite a strong-bodied horse anyway, and he's really sensible. Does walk out nice and cleanly, too. So he's in good order.
He's just a consistent, hard-knocking horse, gives of his best. Best probably isn't good enough against some of these.
Yeah, drawn at barrier number 9, and we move on to horse number 9 now. This is Nimble Nimbus, the son of Sacred Falls, out of a Pinsmere. Ricky Yu, Andrea Atzini. Of course, Ricky had Voyage Bubble in the previous. This horse here has run some very solid races, Jenny, but again, it's another big step up for him today.
Yeah, look, he's a genuine sort of quiet achiever, this horse. He can get himself a little bit toey and bossy in the parade, hence he's got another handler close by, and you can see he's just wanting to throw that head around. That's very normal for this horse. I don't think he'll disgrace, because he's just too honest. He always carries that little bit of weight around the midsection, but he's healthy. He's just getting himself slightly warm, so place hope.
I'm just having a look at Vincent Ho. He's not got on his mount yet. A grin from ear to ear, and he's still being hugged by his fellow riders. It's lovely to see. Here's 10, a Champion Dragon. Tony Cruz and Alexi Badel teaming up with this horse. Looks pretty well too, and comes here off the back of a victory last time, but this is a much, much tougher race.
Yeah, it certainly is. He's got himself, when he first came in, he wasn't sweating. He's just started to sweat up a little bit behind. He's a horse that's got plenty of size and scope. He walks out cleanly, bandaged on those bumpers, and he remains a very fit horse, so maybe fitness might hold him in good stead, but I just think he is just not quite as good as a few of the others in this.
Yeah, he'd have to run a career best this afternoon. He ran a career best last time out of in the Sasa Ladies Purse, I should say. He's since won at Class 2 level since then, but he would really have to step up. Romantic Warrior just best presented, Jenny, and we saw Horizon Dore just on screen before, and Mikhail Barcelona riding here. What of the French 3-year-old?
Yeah, I think he's parading really nicely, Horizon Dore. Very neat type of horse, being clipped out. Just getting on his toes now. He was really quite well behaved right throughout most of this parade, but just now it's business time. He is getting on his toes a touch and getting slightly agitated, but he's very fit and neat, and he does look well.
We'll get Nick Luck's thoughts soon on Horizon Dore, but over to Nick Child we go. He's standing by with Tom Magnier.
Very much, Tom. Yeah, pleased to say that Tom Magnier has very kindly taken the time to chat to me, representing Team Luxembourg, of course. Tom, great to have you here, and this is the fourth and final dart that you're going to throw at the board, but it's a very good one.
Yeah, we're very hopeful for Luxembourg. Horses in great order. Just thanks very much to the Jockey Club, the way they've looked after us, and the horses have come out here. You know, we have every chance in having these horses right. Aidan's very happy with them. Ryan's very happy with them. But obviously, being in Australia, seeing the Cox Plate, we know it's a very good field. You know, we're a little bit worried about the draw, but the horse couldn't be any better. And you know, obviously,
thanks very much to the Hong Kong Jockey Club for the way that they've looked after us. It's been, you know, like nothing we've ever seen, and it's amazing to be here. And you see the reception after the last race. It's eye-opening for us, and we're just delighted to be here.
It's pretty hard to rival Irish hospitality, Tom. Obviously, the magnitude of this race, obviously, you mentioned the Cox Plate, Romantic Warrior, of course, be taking him on. You probably need to bring a good one, but you've got a Group 1 winner at 2, 3 and 4. So for those that weren't too aware, Luxembourg is very good.
Yeah, he's a very good horse. And, you know, the one thing we wanted to do is we wanted to get a very good horse out here. Aidan put a lot of thought into it, and we thought Luxembourg was a horse that would suit this race very well. He's in good order. We've got the right jockey, the right trainer, and hopefully we'll be there in the finish.
I must just ask you, Tom, before I let you go, your views on the previous race, Golden 60. I mean, he's captured the imagination, not just of us here in Hong Kong, but globally. You've seen a lot of racing all around the world. That was pretty special.
You know, the hairs were standing on the back of your neck when that horse came back to scale. And it's fantastic for racing. It's captured, you know, the nation, it's captured the world, and it'll be trending on Twitter, that's for sure. And it's just very special to be here and to witness it firsthand.
Tom, many thanks for chatting to us. Best of luck to you and all the team involved with Luxembourg.
Thanks very much.
Great to hear there from Tom Agnew with Nick Child down in the parade ring here, but runners are making their way to the 2,000 metre barrier here. Jenny, for the Cup, who's on top from the paddock?
One of the Japanese. Number 4 for me, and that's Rushan Park. He's a really lovely horse, this guy. He's got such a lovely nature too. He walked out beautifully. He looks very fit, and his coat looks immaculate. So number 4 goes on top, Rushan Park. From number 2, Romantic Warrior. He's gone into a little bit of a winter coat. He's come back looking terrific once again from the Cox Plate journey. He's walking out nice and freely. He's very fit, so he's in good order. I thought next best was the 3 Prognosis. I like the way he presented. He's just got slightly warm, but he's a really neat type of horse. And number 1, Luxembourg, who did a stack of laps before every other horse came into the parade here, just kept his cool. He looks really healthy and well. He looks in good shape too. So 4, 2, 3 and 1 for me.
Thank you, Jenny. Paul, a quick market update before we get to Mark.
Yeah, 1.5 about Romantic Warrior, 9.2 Luxembourg, 9.1 Prognosis, 11 Rushan Park, 15 Hissi Iguazu, 70 Money Catcher, 15 Straight Aaron, 40 Sword Point, 59 Nimble Nimber, 70 Champion Dragon, and Horizon Dore, 15. And Mark, what a fantastic race from your vantage point. I mean, it was just electric, the atmosphere out the front. And who do you like here coming into the next?
Amazing horse, amazing ride, amazing training performance, Paul, by Francis Lloyd. Congratulations to everybody with Golden 60. But at 8 years of age, he's lost none of that speed. When Vincent cut him loose at the top of the straight, the roof of the grandstand just about lifted. Wonderful animal. Superstar. There's no other word for it. Champion. And he's back as well as ever as an 8-year-old. 2 on top, Romantic Warrior here. Hong Kong China to win again. 1.5 and 1.2. A very different route for him this year as it was for Golden 60. And that didn't stop him. He's back from Australia and a win in the Cox Plate. 3 Prognosis to run second on screen is Prognosis for Yuga Kawada. A 3rd behind Equinox last time in the 10-0 show. And that's got to be good sort of form for a race like this one. 4 to run 3rd, Rushan Park at 10 to 1. First time in Group 1 racing for him. We saw it trip up Lebenstiel early this afternoon coming into this grade the first time. Rushan Park has Grade 3 and Grade 2 wins in Japan next to his name at his last 2 starts. Never worse than top 2 over the 2,000 metres though. And 1 Luxembourg. Ryan Moore for Aidan O'Brien. He has August Roden form out of the Irish Champion Stakes. 2, 3, 4, 1, Paul, for the last of the quartet of Group 1s.
I've gone for a French win down the bottom here. Horizon Dore, currently a 14 to 1 chance. Look, he's got a really good turn of foot, this horse. He does like the faster ground as well, so I think he can win the 11. To beat the 2 Romantic Warrior is going to be tough to beat, and you'll hear the roar if he's in the finish. The 3 Prognosis for Japan. He's another horse who's been very consistent and has been here before. And Luxembourg, we just need a little bit of luck from the draw, so he goes in for 4th just ahead of Rushan Park. So 11, 2, 3, 1 for me.
2, 1, 3 and 4 my numbers. Romantic Warrior on top. There'll be a great training performance from Danny Shum here for another Hong Kong Cup. Luxembourg's going to need a bit of luck and some pace, no doubt, from barrier number 10. Prognosis has the Equinox form, and Rushan Park, I think, definite improvement coming into this. 2, 1, 3 and 4. A recap of Nick Child's numbers. They are 1, 2, 3 and 11, Ginny.
The 4 on top for me, Rushan Park on looks. I thought he paraded beautifully, this horse. I love his nature. I like the look of him. He's a great type, and he did walk out nice and cleanly. Goes on top of number 2, Romantic Warrior. Another big roar from the crowd of this horse is going to salute here, Romantic Warrior. He's done a fantastic job in his career so far. A 5-year-old. He's the winner of the Cox Plate, so he's an international traveller and winner. Next best, number 3, I thought Prognosis presented well, and of the rest, Luxembourg. Just a nice, big, strong horse, nice and relaxed in the parade, looked good. So 4, 2, 3 and 1.
I think Horizon Dore is the one I would add to that mix. He is a right good horse with a turn of foot, and he's improving. He is the European equivalent of Rushan Park here. They're the 2 horses that are moving forward at the right time and are in excellent form. I thought Horizon Dore did outstandingly to hang on for 3rd, despite running an upside-down race at Ascot on horrible ground. This will be much more suitable for him. I was talking to Christian De Muro earlier today, who'd ridden him twice earlier in the season. Mikel Barcelona, today's rider, is retained by the owners, which is why he's riding. Christian said he is a proper horse. I've been very impressed both times I've ridden him. I can see him running a bold race from the inside post. Obviously, Romantic Warrior is the one to beat on his achievements here at Sha Tin, which have been stellar, not just in this race, but also in the QE2 twice. And I echo Jenny's thoughts about Rushan Park. I think he's the clear Japanese pick here.
Right on start time here, Paul. 1.6 this favourite. What's the plan? Where's the late money going?
Yeah, going with, he's in the QQP, which is with Horizon Dore and also Prognosis. So 2, 3 and 11. Look, there's money coming through Prognosis. He's now to 7.8, and Rushan Park, he's into 9 to 1. So both the Japanese have been backed through exotics, 3 and 4, and both have been backed on the win line. Romantic Warrior's just starting to drift out. He came right into 1.3 after the All-Ups. He's now out to 1.6. Luxembourg, he's steady at 8.3, and there's not too much for anything else at this stage, but Romantic Warrior's going to start a short price favourite.
We know, Nick, around Luxembourg, how good that Irish Champion Stakes form is with horses like King of Steel, Point Lonsdale and Nesto. It stacks up very well, doesn't it?
It does. He was right on the front end, and he was able to dictate, and he set the race up really for his stable companion August Rodin, but he boxed on very well. He's a high-class horse, Luxembourg. Make no mistake, as Nick Child pointed out with Tom Magner, Group 1 winner at 2, when the world was his oyster and he was going to be the great superstar. He hasn't quite achieved that level, but perhaps the fact that he hasn't become one of the all-time greats means that we are inclined to damn him with faint praise. He's still a rattling good horse. He's still worthy of his place in this lineup. And if, as is the case, Aidan O'Brien's been laying him out for it, you know, we have to trust that he can run a bold race. I just don't love the barrier in 10 here for him.
Yeah, and also a horse like Money Catcher is probably going to go forward with him, so whether or not he gets a lot of pressure if he wants to be on that speed as well.
Prognosis here, we've seen him, Jenny, in the past, FWD QE2 Cup. Zach Purton sort of argues that he could have beaten Romantic Warrior that day. Things didn't go to plan. Over-raced a little bit in the early stages, wanted to get the mouth open, but since going back to Japan, he absolutely walloped them for 6 in the Sapporo Kinnan, didn't he? It was a superb performance from him, no doubt about it. And he's fronted up looking really quite well too, Prognosis. So he is a son of Deep Impact, and he's a very talented horse. Gate 6 for him. He only weighs in at 1,040, but he's a really neatly put together type. Those connections have come here to Hong Kong. They've had a taste of it. This is the race they've targeted with him, haven't they?
Absolutely. Why wouldn't you? This is one of the most valuable races of its distance on turf anywhere in the world. So it's a great target for a horse who loves to gallop, loves to run at pace.
Jenny, this race with Money Catcher close up last year, but is this probably another step up again because it looks a lot stronger than what he faced last year? Yeah, his last win was back in January, and that was the January Cup at Group 3 level. Look, he always needs an uncontested lead, and I just don't know that he's going to get that with the likes of Luxembourg in this race. But he is a lovely horse. I've always got plenty of time for him. I get my favourites. They don't have to be the best horses, but he always looks good, and he's just a lovely natured horse. They're loading away well here for the 4th and final race of the Turf World Championships here at Sha Tin on the Sunday afternoon. This is the running of the 2,000-metre Longines Hong Kong Cup with race caller Mark McNamara.
Thank you, Tom. To the load, Romantic Warrior to come up. He's 1.8. There's money everywhere here. Luxembourg green on a win line. Prognosis green on a win line. Rushan Park green on a place line. And the 11 horse, Horizon Dore, also backed win and place for France looking for a double. They're ready to go. The crowd is ready. The starter is ready. The horses are ready and they're racing. Horizon Dore off the inside jump really awkwardly. Calbar's alone. It didn't nearly fall off, but he was certainly awkward in the saddle there for a short amount of time. Money Catcher is going to roll across from his wide draw and roll to the lead. Nimble Nimbus running second, Champion Dragon third, and Romantic Warrior slots in to be one off, one back and one out. On the inside then is Straight Aaron from Luxembourg following the favourite. Ishiaguazu's on the inside of Sword Point, 1.5 Horizon Dore throwing their head around badly. Rusham Park and Prognosis the last two, 10 lengths off Money Catcher. Left alone in his favourite role at the 1400 metre mark, he's 2.5 Champion Dragon, Nimble Nimbus. Romantic Warrior has settled beautifully, 2 lengths away fourth. Fifth on the inside, Straight Aaron from Luxembourg. Then Ishiaguazu, Sword Point a further length and a half to Horizon Dore, who is still keen. Second last is Prognosis, and a length away last of all is Rusham Park. It's Money Catcher at a good clip, 1,000 metres to go. He's out by 3. Second is Champion Dragon, Nimble Nimbus. Third, this is a true staying test. The mile is come up in the race as they turn off the back. And the leader is Money Catcher, a length and a half over Champion Dragon, Nimble Nimbus. Romantic Warrior fourth in the cup field. Then came Straight Aaron, followed next then by Luxembourg getting going. Moore's trying to get McDonald out inside of him, and at work they're both off that pair. Then came Ishiaguazu, Sword Point, Horizon Dore, Prognosis and Rusham Park. Leader Money Catcher, Nimble Nimbus gone. Romantic Warrior boldly strides up to them, and McDonald sent him to the lead. Luxembourg can't go with him at the moment. Sword Point next, then Ishiaguazu and Horizon Dore. Romantic Warrior's lead is a length over Luxembourg. Ishiaguazu, the old boy, he's going a great race. Straight Aaron, leader Romantic Warrior, he's clinging on. Luxembourg driving Romantic Warrior, I think. It might be Romantic Warrior in a head bobber. Luxembourg just would not go away. The old boy, Ishiaguazu's right there. Terrific finish in the cup. Then came Straight Aaron, Prognosis. Next in Rusham Park, Nimble Nimbus, Sword Point, Money Catcher. Horizon Dore pulled too hard, and Champion Dragon. I think the Warrior's done it. Peter Lau thinks the Warrior's done it. He cuts it fine. Yeah, he's done it. Romantic Warrior will confirm it here on Shutter Cam. Luxembourg was driving at him. It's Romantic Warrior. It's not as close as the Cox Plate. That's an easy win compared to the Cox Plate. And he's done it again. James McDonald, Denny Shum, Luxembourg. Moore was tactical. He had McDonald out and running, and he's nearly brought him undone. And then Joe Moreira on the old boy, Ishiaguazu's produced a cracking ride, and he's nearly upstaged the pair of them. He wanted the post badly. He was all out, Romantic Warrior. James looked across. He thought he'd been beaten in the Cox Plate. What's the reaction like after the line? Is there a smile there? Is there a smile there? Oh, he's a little nonplussed. And he's going to win the race by a short head. Looks easier on that angle. Ishiaguazu third, Straight Aaron fourth, and Prognosis has run on for fifth. The photo is still in the frame, Nick, but we've seen the shutter cam. James McDonald, it was close in the Cox Plate. He's won this easily compared to that race.
James McDonald, Mark McNamara is saying us to have won it easy compared to the Cox Plate, so there you go.
Yes! I can't hear you!
James, the result's still not in the frame just yet, but you're giving us nervous moments, you and this horse, in recent runs. If it's a Cox Plate, it's a Hong Kong Cup. How about that?
I just want that number to be in the frame first.
Should we wait for that?
But yeah, I'd say so.
There you go.
Ryan was...
Well done. Special horse, isn't he?
I'm so proud. Proud of this horse. So proud of him. He's the best horse.
You've ridden some good ones, James, as well.
Yeah, I thought he's one of the toughest horses I've ever ridden.
Really? What is it that makes him so special?
Well, he's so easy to ride. He's got a heart as big as a lion. And he's travelled from Australia to here. Yeah. This is his best win by a mile.
James, enjoy this. I know you will.
From James McDonald in front of it. The starter is ready, the horses are ready, and they're racing. Horizon Dore off the inside jump really awkwardly. Calbar's alone, it didn't nearly fall off, but he was certainly awkward in the saddle there for a short amount of time. Money Catcher is going to roll across from his wide draw and roll to the lead.
Nimble Nimbus running second, Champion Dragon third, and Romantic Warrior slots in to be one off, one back and one out. On the inside then is Straight Aaron from Luxembourg following the favourite. HKIR's on the inside of Sword Point, 1.5 Horizon Dore throwing their head around badly. Rusham Park and Prognosis the last two, 10 lengths off Money Catcher. Left alone in his favourite role at the 1400 metre mark, he's 2.5 Champion Dragon, Nimble Nimbus. Romantic Warrior has settled beautifully, 2 lengths away fourth. Fifth on the inside, Straight Aaron from Luxembourg. Then HKIR, Sword Point a further length and a half to Horizon Dore, who is still keen. Second last is Prognosis, and a length away last of all is Rusham Park. It's Money Catcher at a good clip, 1,000 metres to go. He's out by 3. Second is Champion Dragon, Nimble Nimbus. Third, this is a true staying test. The mile is come up in the race as they turn off the back. And the leader is Money Catcher, a length and a half over Champion Dragon, Nimble Nimbus. Romantic Warrior fourth in the cup field. Then came Straight Aaron, followed next then by Luxembourg getting going. Moore's trying to get McDonald out inside of him, and it worked. They're both off that pair. Then came HKIR, Sword Point, Horizon Dore, Prognosis and Rusham Park. Leader Money Catcher, Nimble Nimbus gone. Romantic Warrior boldly strides up to them, and McDonald sent him to the lead. Luxembourg can't go with him at the moment. Sword Point next, then HKIR and Horizon Dore. Romantic Warrior's lead is a length over Luxembourg. HKIR, the old boy, he's going a great race. Straight Aaron, leader Romantic Warrior, he's clinging on. Luxembourg driving Romantic Warrior, I think.
2:157, there's the photo as well, and it's 2:00, 2 minutes 2.00 the winner's time. That was well outside what they ran last year in this race, 1:59.7. A short head by a short head there, Paul, but Romantic Warriors held on here from Luxembourg. And what about the run of HKIR between runners, and Straight Aaron's gone a bottler as well.
Yeah, good run from him, wasn't it? 23.50 drifted out to a lot of late money for Prognosis. He came into 4.3 and Horizon Dore came into 7.3. So as such, you got 23.50 for the winner, 23 for second. He went down on his shield. There was Luxembourg, 37.50 in there for third, which was HKIR, as you said, a good run from him, just ahead of Straight Aaron, who ended up running fourth. Vanilla 1 and 2, 93, the forecast 2 to beat 1, 113, the trio 125, 369, the test 215, 1087, and Jenny, how tough is Romantic Warrior?
He is just so tough, isn't he? And to travel and come back and do that once again, he's a nice-natured horse, and I think, you know, his connections have done a brilliant job with him. You know, the stable team there from Danny Shum. You can see he's rather hot and warm, as he should be, but James McDonald gave him a beautiful ride. He just had to ease back in the early part of that race just to get himself a little bit of cover. The horse settled beautifully for him. As he said, he's a great ride. He's an easy ride, but he's a fantastic racehorse as well. So two of our stars have really stepped out this afternoon.
Jenny, I don't know if you realise, but Golden 60 couldn't win from 14. Lucky Swainess isn't as good as he used to be, and Romantic Warrior had to go to Moonee Valley and back. None of them could win, apparently.
Well, they've all fronted up for today, and the All Blacks chant was going up for James McDonald as he came back to scale as well. It hasn't been an easy thing for Danny Shum to get him back here, and James commented he needed that barrier trial, but he's kept him ticking over. The work in quarantine has obviously kept him up to the mark, and he's done a superb job, Danny.
You sacrifice a little bit of your brilliance, yes, by the travel and the unorthodox preparation and doing something different, but what this horse has got in spades is courage. He showed it in the Cox Plate, and he's shown it again today. Luxembourg was at him all the way to the line in a race that suited Luxembourg because it allowed him to actually get a draft in off a strong, sustained pace, but he just has the one good pace at this trip, whereas Romantic Warrior is a little bit more tactical.
And how important, Nick, do you think this race will be going forward in terms of, for Hong Kong owners, they've seen Romantic Warrior go down to the Cox Plate and win. Sometimes they're a bit worried about travelling, that they're going to sacrifice the big races here. This shows them that they can come back and still win these races.
Might it have an impact also on Australian owners? Because if there's an omission from today, it's that we'd like to see a few more of the top Australian horses in a race like this. I know Mr. Brightside was pointing to it for some time. Maybe it'll make them think, well, actually, you can go X, then Y.
Yeah, for sure. Look, we see a lot of the Japanese come over here and compete, but it's pretty much like a float trip for them. It's only about a 4.5-hour flight for those. So it's a bit longer from Australia, but this horse in particular, because he's got a very good nature, he's travelled without any fuss. Of course, he performed when he got to Melbourne, and now he's come back here. This is his hometown. He knows the environment, and he's been able to do it once again. But travelling, no issue for him. And we see all the European horses travel all the time, don't we?
I think what we've seen with Junko today and with Luxembourg is you've got to prepare for this day. It's no use being an afterthought.
Luxembourg, a huge race. He probably settled a little bit further back than most had anticipated from barrier 10.
I don't think he had any choice.
Yeah.
But I think the fact that they got strung out suited him because it enabled him not to be racing 3, 4, 5 deep. It gave him a nice draft into the race. But as you pointed out to me, Tom, Ryan Moore was pumping away on him halfway down the back.
Yeah, he was just coming off the back straight there. He was under pressure. Jenny, a massive run from HKIR. Plenty of people were keen to write the 7-year-old off, and he's fronted up again here.
He has, yeah. Look, he was off midfield on the fence there for quite some time, and he was able to sneak through and get third prize money there, so he's done a fantastic job, and credit to the Japanese connections too, because they presented him looking well too.
There's James McDonald down there, just embracing with his partner Caitlin Malley, Paul straight out, and that's a career best for him. Casper Found said he had him spot on, couldn't have him any better for today's run, and he's run a slashing race on the inside there. He looked a serious threat halfway down.
He did, so look, he's really fronted up here. Vincent Ho aboard once again with him. And going forward into these sort of domestic group races, he's going to be a force to be reckoned with. He's proved now he can mix it with these international horses.
Verdict, Nick, on Horizondore?
Too keen. They're back to the drawing board with him, because that's the second race in succession where he has blown his chance by, first of all, being awkward in the gate. He was
like he almost
shilly-shallying really in the gate, one leg to another, and getting anxious. And when he jumped, he bobbled, and then he ran hard into the bridle, and that was it. That was his race gone.
Yeah,
he showed some talent to get into it, but he'd done his running in the first 200 metres.
Yeah, Mark mentioned the call that he was getting the head up, but it was just sort of when the gates opened, just before the gates opened, it's sort of like he almost sort of had half a lunge at them, and then when he went back, gates open on the back foot.
Absolutely, and gave away a few lengths, and you can't really do that in a race like this with those sorts of horses to compete against. Straight Aaron, though, wasn't he good?
Yeah, he certainly was. Prognosis was running on the end. He's only been beaten by the best part of maybe 1.2, 1.3 lengths, Nick.
Yeah, Rushan Park was the other disappointment in the race. Thought he should have run better, judged on that victory of a title holder last time. Perhaps that left a mark, and he's bounced off a big effort today. For this man, Peter Lau, this will be such a proud moment. 2 QE2s, 2 Hong Kong Cups, and a Cox Plate into the bargain. What a horse.
Fantastic horse, and actually had one go amiss during the week as well, so just fantastic that this horse continues on his winning ways.
Yeah, that was Romantic Hero, who was due to line up today, but unfortunately has a tendon injury. What will the Japanese make of their foray to Hong Kong this year? Came here with big expectations. Leban's went off at a short price, didn't front up, and the others, apart from HKIR, who at the start of the day you wouldn't have recommended HKIR being the best of the Japanese runners.
浪琴香港盃頒獎儀式現在開始。
Ladies and gentlemen, the Longines Hong Kong Cup Trophy Presentation Ceremony will now commence.
Ladies and gentlemen, let's put your hands together to congratulate the back-to-back Hong Kong Cup champion, our champion middle distance horse, Romantic Warrior, representing Hong Kong, China, winning again the Longines Hong Kong Cup. 浪琴香港盃嘅得主咧已經出爐啦，係由嚟自中國香港嘅浪漫勇士衛冕㗎，恭喜晒 ！Woo! May I now invite the club's chairman, Mr. Michael Lee, to present the Longines Hong Kong Cup trophy to our winning owner, Peter Lau Pak Fei, of a winning horse, Romantic Warrior. 而家我哋嘅本會主席李子厚先生現正將咧就係獎杯頒發俾我哋勝出頭馬浪漫勇士嘅馬主劉柏輝先生㗎。 掌聲唔好俾佢停。Now I'd like to invite our chairman to please present the bronze horse statuette Also to our winning owner, Mr. Peter Lau Pak Fai， 亦都係將呢個駿馬銅像咧就係頒發俾劉柏輝先生嘅。Mr. Lee, please also present the bronze horse statuette to our winning trainer, Danny Shum。 繼續有請我哋保會主席利子厚先生就將駿馬銅像頒俾我哋勝出頭馬嘅練馬師沈集成先生。Woo! And of course, the bronze horse statuette to our winning jockey James McDonald， 同埋我哋嘅勝出騎師麥道朗啊！恭喜晒 ！What a perfect partnership between James and Romantic Warrior. Next, I'd like to invite Mr. Bernardo Tribole Vice President Marketing Longines to present the Longines watch to our winning owner. And Mrs. Tong is going to receive this on behalf of Mr. Lau. Please take a photo. 我哋浪琴環球市場部副總裁 Bernardo Tribole 先生啱啱就致送咗呢一隻名貴嘅浪琴錶咧，就係俾我哋勝出頭馬嘅馬主代表嘅。And of course to our winning trainer, Danny Shum。 當然咧，亦都係唔少得我哋嘅勝出嘅練馬師沈集成先生，恭喜晒 ！And of course to our winning jockey James McDonald， 當然唔少得我哋嘅勝出嘅騎師麥道朗。What a tremendous win this afternoon! Thank you so much, Mr. Tribole. I'd like to invite our guests to please remain for a group photo on such a precious moment. 我哋有請我哋各位嘉賓留一留步，影張大合照㗎。Let's all look to the front at all our media friends here today at the Longines Hong Kong Cup. Ladies and gentlemen, put your hands together once again for our winning connections. Please remain where you are. I'd like to invite everyone to please rise and remove your hats for the national anthem of our winning country, Hong Kong, China, played by the Hong Kong Police Band. 而家我哋有請香港警察樂隊為我哋演奏勝出頭馬所屬國家中國香港嘅國歌，有請各位起立並隨舞。Thank you very much, and I'm proud to say that the Hong Kong team has won 3 out of the 4 international Group 1 races today. Huge congratulations. This is the end of the trophy presentation, and the 2023 Longines Hong Kong International Races is about to finish. Thank you for joining us here today, and we look forward to seeing you all again next year. 2023年嘅浪琴香港盃嘅頒獎儀式已經圓滿結束，本年度嘅浪琴香港國際賽事亦都接近尾聲。喺呢度再次多謝大家嘅支持同埋參與，我哋明年再見啦，拜拜。
Local heroes, Lucky Swainess, Golden 60, and Romantic Warrior. And of course, earlier on, the French winning the Vase. Here we go from the start, Paul, and you can see Horizon Dore very fractious just before the off. Rusham Park goes back in the early stages here, but Money Catcher, as he likes to do, goes forward. Nimble Nimbus, Romantic Warrior just gets into the perfect spot, does that time and time again. James is able to get him to relax after just throwing the head about momentarily into the first turn there. You've got Straight Aaron on the inside, Luxembourg, followed by HKIR, Sword Point. Horizon Dore gets quite keen on in the turn out of the straight, Paul, and back with them as well has also been as they make the turn out of the straight. Prognosis and Rusham Park, you could say maybe he was a bit keen also.
Yeah, you can see those Japanese horses in the back, both really not liking this slow pace, particularly Horizon Dore. Rusham Park was pulling and he was sort of 3 wide at the back, so they didn't really get the race run to suit, but who did was Romantic Warrior. In those blue colours, he's getting a perfect run, and Luxembourg sort of followed him all the way at this stage. He was on his back. 3 back on the inside, that's Straight Aaron. He went a really good race, and behind him in the blue and white, that's HKIR, who ended up running 3rd.
So they've run quite a way outside standard here, and it's Money Catcher leading over a Champion Dragon there over on the outside, followed by Nimble Nimbus. They both fold up in the straight. Romantic Warrior in that perfect spot, racing on his own 4th, followed by Straight Aaron. Luxembourg, you can see Ryan Moore, hard work with him coming off the back straight, stoking him up, peeling out 3 wide. And then you've got HKIR. Sword Point was looking to follow Luxembourg into the race. Prognosis, Horizon Dore, and back last of all as they swing for home here at the top of the straight, of course, is Rusham Park for Damien Lane. But Romantic Warrior peels now, and James McDonald pushes the button on him. Luxembourg won't go away. You can see HKIR right behind Romantic Warrior. Straight Aaron looking to try and pinch a gap through, just held up, might have been momentarily there. Straight Aaron, Money Catcher can't go on with Nimble Nimbus. Horizon Dore looked to try and loom up, but race keen and couldn't run on over the final stages. Romantic Warrior, though, balanced up now inside the last 150 metres, drives to the line here from Luxembourg, HKIR, and Straight Aaron there for 4th over the final stages. Champion Dragon weakened out of it to be the last of them. But here we go with International Race Day. The 4 Group 1s have been run and won. Of course, we kick things off with the Vase, and Junko was able to win it for France. Lucky Swainess at a short price. Golden 60 at better than even money, and Romantic Warrior. So France 1, Hong Kong 3 to round out Longines HKIR for 2023, the Turf World Championships. Just waiting on the sectional times to come through for the final of the Group 1s this afternoon over the 2,000 metres. The overall time was 2:02.00, so well outside what they did last year. But 23:63, 24:83, 23:88, 23:45 and 23:48.
Looks the short price favourite at this stage. Let's see if he drifts back out.
Thank you, Paul, as we start off with Galaxy Patch on screen, and he's been able to win 2 of his 3 starts, Jenny. The only time he failed was on the all-weather. Karis Teton Pierre Rung, he's another one of the 4-year-olds that we're looking forward to seeing progress here.
Yeah, definitely.